did you see that? They 6-picked their Maestro into an Echo, and that's actually really interesting. The reason that they would do that is because they haven't been seeing an IQ played by SSG. And if there's no IQ being played, then Echo is indisputably the better option because he's going to be able to have his cameras persist. Whereas, on a basement defense, the Maestro Evil positioning on this site is incredibly predictable and easy to dispatch. I can say that I have seen at this event, through the matches I've casted, we've seen constantly, so what, this is the second time I think I've casted this, maybe the third. I've seen that nade that destroys the Evil Eye by White Van at least 3 or 4 times. It's so frequent and it's such a common spot. So if there's no IQ, yeah, bring yourself an Echo. Now, of course, you can still shoot those cameras. And even there's a Thatcher in play. That might be a problem for the Echo. But I agree with that 6-pick there for Pojo, man. I think that's smart.
TSM will not benefit off of the negligence that Rogue displayed by shooting those default cameras, as you saw that from SSG. So they happen to know where they're all positioned on this map. They're not going to let that slip by. Unfortunate for Rogue, that ended up being a major blunder and cost them a round yesterday. They are now currently playing Na'Vi on the Rainbow Six Bravo channel, for those that are unaware.
And that's an elimination match too, so definitely really important that you see who wins on that one. Don't forget to check out Rainbow Six Bravo when you got the time.
Really well played here by TSM to anticipate a rush, but unfortunately Bolo is involved in the opening duel yet again, and he will be the opening death for the second round in a row. So SSG starting things off in a way that you kind of want to see. Also, you saw Toxic Canister get thrown out from Geo onto Yellow Stairs. Once again, like I said, anticipating a rush. With how early both of those panels on Garage went, I think TSM was looking like SSG was just going to be a whirlwind.
I think somehow the second panel didn't get opened up. There's a missing exothermic, and I heard it detonating, but yeah, the wall's not open. I don't know what caused that. It might be an explosive, maybe, from the defense, maybe. I'm taking a look here. Yeah, it could have been Merc's impacts, maybe.
Merc does have an impact grenade. How close was he at the time? That's the question. If they're able to stop that, well, the other thing, too, is that can work really well for the attackers because they will now have added protection if they're able to get that diffuser down. The question is, will Space Station strategy involve an execute? Well, it's a garage take. The answer is probably yes.
Yeah.
That tends to be the way it works. Merc just gets a little bit too antsy, and he narrowly misses out on Fultz. These are former teammates from Organized Chaos all the way down in Challenger League. Both have found quite a bit of success. Excellent coordination from SSG to flush out Merc as the door behind him explodes, and another logic bomb will give the position away of the remaining 3 members of TSM. Could we see a third flawless round here from Space Station? Well, the spread for TSM, it's not too bad. You've got the Mozzie of Achieved playing very far off site, and then Pojo and Geo to just kind of anchor things down.
We'll see if they can make that work, though. There's a lot of utility for TSM, so a lot of potential to deny the plant. Here come the Okai drones. There's only 1 detonated there from Pojo as he's able to deny, like they said, the one time, but the guns are coming alive for TSM. They get 2 kills before Geo is finished off. Chief will take care of the player upstairs, leaving just 2 players downstairs, and now there's vertical pressure for TSM, which means that SSG has to rush into the site. They go for the push into kitchen, and Canadian will trade, leaving just Thinking Nade. He's got to pick up that diffuser and go for the plant. Achieved has to time this perfectly. Thinking Nade will be exposed for 2 seconds, but it doesn't look like Achieved realizes this. He doesn't even know where the plant happened. He'll see the enemy and land the shot. There it is, Achieved with the 1v1 clutch and the disable.
Over the last 8 rounds is just absolutely disgusting in comparison to TSM, who started off so strong and so confident. 3-0, immediately a timeout gets taken from Ninjas in Pyjamas, and they have only dropped a single round since then. That's the kind of thing you want to see, really. And the one problem that Ninjas in Pyjamas have always had on land is the tilt factor. This has always been a squad that when they start to get a little bit antsy, it really gets to them and they just blow up. This happened at the Invitational last year in their matchup against FaZe, where they just completely collapsed. With a team like TSM, this is still a relatively young squad. Yes, you've got veterans like Pojo as well as Geo on it. Achieved has been around the scene a lot, but Bolo and Merc in particular might not have that same level of confidence that you see on LAN. Well, that's 9 in a row in terms of opening duels for Ninjas in Pyjamas. And down goes Bolo. We'll be able to see the Triple Crown here, which is the round 1 opening duel and diffuser planted, as both panels have been opened up into Garage. And Nip, unfortunately, suffering a team kill. Kamikaze was great last round. That was a beautiful shot. It was a headshot, but obviously not what you want to see.
EAP's coming in to try and get rid of some of the utility gas canisters being forced out from Geo. Julio is going to drone in and spot Merc, who will have to relocate at some point. Chieved is playing above. That's the big thing here. He's going to be able to open up a lot of this, or he might just not. Nope, yeah, he's going to commit. Shotgun will open up quite a lot. Ninjas in Pyjamas, though, trying to take explosively into Piano, and I don't think Achieved is going to expect this. He might, though, and he does. There you go. One down, but there's a second, and he loses the fight, which means Muzi can pick up his teammate. That's huge for Ninjas in Pyjamas. The site take coming in there. That's 3 for Muzi in total. Big round for him, and he's doing some serious work.
This is absolutely incredible watching how TSM is being utterly dismantled. Shoulders now of the Maestro. Psycho gets caught and goes for the running man at the bottom of Spiral Stairs. Finally, a kick at the can for TSM, but it might be too late. There goes the Nitro Cell. It connects on the Kamikaze. Down goes Muzi. No ace at all. TSM have managed to turn this one around, and then will finally manage to hold off.
But even that didn't work. Everything kind of hit the TSM brick wall when SSG threw themselves at that defense, and nothing really worked. For SSG.
For any Canadians listening, I think you could call that the TSM turning point.
I don't.
I knew you weren't going to get it. It's fine. It's not a joke for you.
Okay.
There are people who will understand it, who will like it very much.
It's a hockey thing?
Yes. Well, yes. Mostly yes.
All right. Got it. I like hockey. I think it's cool. I just never got into it.
Like I said, there's not a lot of people who are going to get it, but there are people who will get it and they'll like it. That's all.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not for you.
Yeah. So that's a prepped run out there on the balcony windows from Chieved. He is playing with reckless abandon, so he can actually interestingly follow the tracer from that camera getting destroyed, and he'll know where his enemies are. There's also somebody watching the other outside cams. In fact, actually, this is Achieved. So he's waiting for the right opportunity to go for a run out. Or he's not going to. Mark is playing a very aggressive open window here, but he'll let Fultz walk by. Misses that chance.
I think the patience is a nice touch from TSM. They don't really need to go for all that much, given the fact that they're on match point. And there was no timeout that was taken from Spacestation either, was there?
No one's taken a timeout yet.
I mean, unless you don't think it's going to do all that much. One of Bolo's drone army will grow as he gets a valuable piece of intel away from Space Station.
And that's a really big piece of info now contributing to TSM. Rampy has made his way into admin office. That clear is successful for SSG. Only took him about a minute. That's pretty quick. Merc is going to be calling this out with his heartbeat detector all the way down in the basement. He'll relocate accordingly. See if he can make his way into Visa to try and apply pressure from below onto admin office.
It's an angle that can be played onto somebody who's in the basement there, and you know that Bosco is awaiting it. We've seen a couple kills from it before, so don't think that it's entirely ineffective and can actually end up being a really crucial pick onto somebody. And that's really what SSG needs, is they need to be able to break this round open, because the longer it seems to go down, the more it's going to weigh on them, and the more TSM have ideally set themselves up to be able to hold things off. There's a little hole poked in the wall at the top of Visa Stairs. That's by the ex-Kairos of Canadian. So that means that anybody that's going to push on over from Visa, or anybody at the top of the projector, well, they're going to get spotted out if somebody plays inside of admin. But SSG maneuvers over. Another piece of the puzzle for SSG, but it's destroyed and upended by Merc. Down below with the C4, and SSG will trail. Opening pick for TSM is crucial, especially when the match is on the line. Final 40 seconds, good time for a logic bomb, and it's going to be an all-out punishing take from SSG. Fultz starts things off on to Pojo Man, still on Repel, watching that connector window, but you're not going to get anything from Achieved. A sneaky angle from the Vigil as Diffuser gets juggled back and forth. Still inside of main lobby, there's the logic bomb, but Merc dealing significant damage to Fultz, both very, very low. He'll lose the fight. Bolo peeks now, and Fultz has no idea what's happening next. So the 3 remaining members of SSG make that 2, try to push on in, make that 1. It's Bosco against the world with the match in TSM's hands. And they'll close it out.
Go into on OT first. If TSM decided to go to defense first, then I think that they're going to have some serious struggles. Because that was the very first defensive round that Nippers have lost, actually. That's the very first defensive round, I guess I should say, that TSM have won. It's been a weird half. And I'm not sure if they're going to have a good time going into OT. I really do wonder what that's going to be on the starting sides. We'll find out, I guess, in a round if TSM can win this one. That last round, it looked good for Nip throughout. The garage entry was going well. The clear upstairs went fantastically. Then suddenly, once it came to the actual site push, well, the anchors from TSM came alive. Middle floor here for TSM. This has worked really poorly for them in the past. Some damage done there early to Psycho, but no kill.
That was Merc going for a spawn peek. He likes to do this on Consulate. We've seen it on a couple different operators. Taking Psycho out of action could have been such a huge pick for TSM.
Yeah.
But Psycho, as you can see on the left, not exactly doing the best in terms of frags. Musi is at 19 kills. The LAN record for Pro League matches, of which 6 Invitational falls under, is 23 set by Citizen and Tokonami. 4 kills, and it's Musi. Now keep in mind the total LAN record is 27. It's set by Moringa at OGA Pit. So quite a bit of work to do for Musi to be able to catch up on that, but he could at least get a record here in Pro League competition. He's going to need overtime to do it unless he picks up a Nace this round. So you need Nace, a 4K will not be good enough. In this case, he might be hoping that they go to OT. Here's the problem though. Every single time that the team sets that record, they don't win the match. When Rampy set it on Coastline, they drew. When Citizen set it on LAN, they lost to Rec. So if you're Nip, yeah, Musi might be able to break that record, get 24 frags, but that would mean that TSM would have to win the match, as the prophecy foretold, Michael.
Yes. Did you say foretold?
Foretold. I was trying to say it with an accent. It's
prophecy toad.
The foretold.
Yeah.
You think that I've gotten this far in life thinking that foretold is a word? Lots of damage to the Buck, and Pino is removed from play with 1:20 on the clock, half of the round gone, and the very first opening pick. Merc was involved as well in the beginning altercation onto Psycho, but wasn't able to do enough damage. It was just a flesh wound, they would say, but a little bit more damage done to the Buck, as then you can hear Kamikaze on Repel taking more chunks away from Merc's HP. It's all window play from Nip, as a lobby defense will be the very final round of regulation, if you can call it that. Overtime will await us. Down goes Psycho. A refrag from Kamikaze on a Pojo Man as the Mozzie had jumped out onto the balcony. Play from below have achieved as that garage is opened up. A run out is very unlikely. It will have to be a vault as well. A cardiac sensor will just continue to give information to the rest of his team as Ninjas In Pyjamas looks maybe for a pick in towards the lobby. But that's where Merc is sitting right now, in the very near the default plant spot. Musi is inside of sight. He needs to keep moving, and the C4 will claim him. Nothing at all. Down goes Musi. The record will stay safe. Citizen, you are good, man. There you go. TSM with all the kills. You can tell there if you end up becoming the victor, because it also depends on when the opening frag happens, right? If it happens late into the round, like with 20 seconds to go, then it's not really an opening frag. But in this position, you are SSG. You're likely only set of smokes, because we're assuming that Thinking Nade is holding frag grenades. We don't exactly know. But assuming that Thinking Nade might have access to either frags or smokes, you might not have... Oh no, Thinking Nade has smokes available.
This is why I love this right here.
Yes.
Now we know. We've got 2 smokes, 2 nades, 3 stuns left on SSG. And here's going to be the nade onto yellow. Bolo dodges it adeptly, and he will relocate, because he doesn't need to stay upstairs. It's a mid-4 defense.
Yeah. Lobby is a tough nut to crack if you don't have the destruction on that second floor. There goes a logic bomb. It's going to be the first one. Everybody from TSM will freeze just to wait and silence their phones, as it's second floor control with Bosco very, very close to being able to drop on down. A lot of damage done to achieved from 2 angles
Because he managed to escape death there, it's huge for the team, but Rampy will get murked.
He wakes up. So does Geo onto Fultz. Canadian falls to Bolo. And with that earlier pick, it's a massive advantage for TSM that will grow and finish in spectacular fashion. TSM will move to match point.
So that's a pretty big win there for TSM, and one that I honestly didn't expect. The way